All new at 7 o'clock. Before you send that text message, you better make sure the person that you're texting is not driving. There are a handful of lawsuits out there right now where the sender of a text is being blamed for an accident that occurred while the recipient is driving and then texting back. Follow all that? Let's bring in defense attorney Whitney Boan. Whitney, always great to see you. Appreciate you being here today.
Thanks.
Okay, let's break this down. How can someone be blamed for a car crash when they aren't even in the car and they may or may not have known that the person was even driving? Seems a little far-fetched here.
It does seem a little far-fetched, and I understand that there's been some recent decisions in Pennsylvania by a judge with regard to a claim for damages. This is about a civil case, not a criminal case, where an individual who sent a text to a woman who then hit a motorcyclist, dragged the motorcyclist ultimately died. The woman's done time in jail already for that offense. The person who sent her the text, the judge in the civil case has said, you know, I'm not throwing it out yet. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this person, you know, the plaintiff can prove that this person aided and abetted in causing this accident by sending the woman who caused the accident the text. It's a little scary in some ways for lawyers to hear this, especially those who do defense work. But it sounds like there's some opening there that at least in theory there could be damages established on those grounds.
Okay, so the bottom line here is, I mean, if you think about the absurdity of this, let's take it to the absurd point, right? That's when you point out the flaws in it. So if I text you, say, what, are you driving? You text me back, say, yes, I'm driving, and you crash, then I'm responsible because you text me back saying you were driving, right?
Well, what's happening is there's a court in Pennsylvania that's saying you could be responsible for that. It's not that that's been decided at this point or that it's even been reviewed by an appellate court to be upheld as the standing law, and this is in another state too. But what I'm seeing, the possibility in time maybe that we're moving that way where maybe if someone is a victim of domestic violence and the person who is the perpetrator of domestic violence is texting that victim while they're driving, you know, and they're distracted because it's emotional, and the person who sent the text knew the other person was driving, that then if the person who's driving gets in an accident, the original person could be responsible. I see that kind of, you know, duty there where you should not distract someone, especially where it's emotional or flirtatious or conflicting or you're arguing, because you could be responsible.
Okay, wait, and then I'm curious, though, from an attorney standpoint, what do you see? What should we know here in Florida when it comes to texting while driving or texting somebody while driving? What do we need to know about this?
Well, you shouldn't be texting and driving.
Obviously.
I mean, obviously, we know that. You're obviously distracted if you're texting and driving. But even if you're sending a text to someone who you know or should know reasonably based on the circumstances that that person is driving who you sent the text to, you may have some responsibility for that. You should stop texting them. You shouldn't be encouraging someone to text while they're driving anyways. You don't want to end up being civilly liable, but you certainly don't want to risk the safety of other people on the road, even if you're not on the road at that point in time.
Good point. Whitney Boan, always great to see you. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.
Thanks.